Larry at 60. No animals were harmed during this production. 'Twas the date of November 20th, 1956, when tiny little adorable baby Lawrence Mark was born, as he just popped out of this one.
Swing, Mary. Cut away.
It didn't take long before he realized that film and vegetarianism were his true calling in life. In fact, it was right after his first student film about a slaughterhouse that he quickly became a veg. He knew right then and there that blood-splattered walls, bludgeoned carcasses, and severed body parts would not be his path. However, later in life, he did develop a rather bizarre fetish with body parts. I mean, when Ravel's Brain came out, I thought interesting. Then with Beethoven's Hair, I thought there's something going on here. But finally, when Mozart Balls was released, I thought, this dude needs evaluation. Anyway, getting back to the slaughterhouse, I believe that Larry is the kind of guy to which all the barnyard critters and their offspring, because thanks to his kind, they can even have offspring, will be eternally grateful. I met him when things were already going juicy with the love of his life, the inimitable Mary.
Okay, cut away at Mary.
I say inimitable because within our artsy-fartsy community, Mary has always been our beacon of normality. Larry's mother, the enticing Marilyn, is best known for her divine chopped liver, enchantingly greenish-hued discolored latke, occasional parched throat, and most recently, tennis elbow. She says she's never played tennis a day in her life, and I suspect that maybe if she had, she just may have avoided the tennis elbow. She is mother of the phenomenal Lawrence Mark, the charming Judy and Andrea, and most importantly, grandma of the legendary Eli, whom after I once again bring up this anecdote, may just think that I'm an asshole. And I'll never forget how at a special Steuben Glassworks PBS event at Roy Thompson Hall, Larry's father, Bill, so graciously took me around to various PBS head honchos to try to get me career advancement. Incidentally, as a little kid, the precocious Bill starred in a theater show together with Sidney Lumet. However, at the time, I don't think Lumet realized what an honor it was. Of course, we won't forget Larry and Mary's lovely daughters, Danya and our own little mermaid, Allie.
Cut away.
Didn't I once say that being born in the 9th month, she was Larry's first September song? Yeah, because with a punchline like that, I just need to get some more mileage out of it. Well, even before the iconic September songs, Larry was always known as a people person. Paradoxically, although somewhat shy, he is such a master at striking up conversations, starting something. In fact, he's so brilliant at making overtures that his very first film went straight to the Oscars. His shyness is also evident in his chronic, understated, less is more fashion sense. In fact, if he ever had to wear a shirt like this, he'd throw up. Actually, I think vomit could blend in quite seamlessly with all this.
That's the smell.
That's it. Anyway, it was after the consummate making overtures that Larry went through a period of making films about obscure Canadian contemporary composers. That's when I knew for certain that he's not in it for the money. I do have to say, though, that the hockey match scene in the radical romantic John Weinstein had the best editing I've witnessed since the dining room scene from Yentl. Kudos, Van Eerdvik. This astute lad has a knack for finding truly great editors. Soon he was to find a new editor, a brilliantly new editor. I must say that Larry often helped me learn things. Many years ago,
Take two.
I didn't even know what the word autistic meant. So Lair told me that it's simply the way a New Yorker would pronounce the word artistic. It's so autistic.
My son is autistic.
And he was the one that took me to my very first hot dogs party. Larry then proceeded to give me a ticket to another hot dogs party. So in fact, it wasn't until after a few parties that I realized that hot dogs has films in it. Of course, he always understood what the best food was. He once spoke of the best Italian blood orange he ate, for sure. God knows he'll never get blood from a thick, juicy steak. Of the best de Meurthe he ate at Pierre Hermé, for sure. And of course, of the best French food shop there is, for sure. Together, we've savored my favorite cities, Paris, New York, and San Francisco, as Eugene Levy in character would say it. Lair and Mayer attended both my Montreal Symphony debut and my New York City debut. On the eve of my NYC debut, Larry stuck a note he wrote on my hotel room door saying, "Dear Yuval, we're sorry to inform you that your concert has been cancelled due to lack of ticket sales." What a little prankster, this one. Maybe Eli was right all along. Asshole! No, Larry's joining in now. That's great. In actual fact, no one has been as helpful and caring in regards to recommending and promoting me as this guy right here. He was the one, for instance, who introduced my All Chopin CD to Teresa Stratus when she phoned me with great excitement and said that she listens to it every day. Her endorsement led to some engagements in Europe and North America. This type of nurture also oozes into Larry's work. He's always had genuine interest in the true emotions and perceptions of characters in his films, whether dead or alive, as well as in the craft and craft personnel that helped to create his films. I remember after I recorded music for both Our Man in Tehran and Beethoven's Hair, any splicing had to be done promptly right after the recording. Although such musical details were not within Larry's actual domain, he was so fascinated with the music and interpretation, as well as being attentive to my own contentment, that he sat in the mixing room and didn't want to leave until I decided to leave. It's this type of devotion that, as previously mentioned, makes Larry probably the best example of one that was never in it for the money. And I really think that exact approach is what makes his films not make so much money. But they are great works of art. They may not have the same amount of CGI special effects as can be found in the Transformers series, but on the plus side, they have a profoundness and authenticity that spawns spiritual and mental enlightenment greater than that of any of the Transformers films. Wow. You see? You got it, boy. His directorial style achieves this through a disciplined penchant for storytelling and emotional persuasion, free of the crutches of graphic blatancy or sentimentality. And you can use that quote from me, sir.
I will. I hope there's one more you like quote.
For decades, Larry has been a best friend to me, my BFF, just like Madonna and Gwyneth Paltrow were before their friendship went to hell. So I'd like to close in saying that 60 years ago today, a happening took place when tiny little adorable baby Lawrence Mark popped right out of this one.
What's a bookend?
You got it. There's some structure here. The world was enriched with beauty, kindness, wit, wisdom, and talent for making the most inspiring films. Speaking of films, here it is most fitting to proclaim that disclaimer we often read during movie credits. No animals were harmed in any way during this production. So I'm wishing this incredible person the happiest 60th birthday with at least 60 more of the happiest returns. Happy birthday, Lawrence Mark.
Oh,
Happy birthday.
thank you. I'm all sweaty.
You're very...
That was beautiful.
Thanks, I'm
Really
glad I see how emotional you are,
Okay.
Marilyn. That's great.
Your presentation of your thoughts towards Larry were extremely impressive.
Oh, thanks. It's so nice.
And your ability to convey your emotions about your friendship with Larry are second to none.
Oh, thanks. That's
You-
so nice, Bill, and you say it so well yourself.
Well, your ability to write and read goes beyond comparison. The only one who could approach your wonderful abilities would be Larry himself.